before we formally begin today's program, I, Dr. Nishita, invite you to pause for a moment. Not to think about success, not about titles, nor about milestones, but about the inner resolve that quietly shapes extraordinary journeys. Here is a beautiful shairi that pens and captures the spirit of today's event with remarkable honesty. जीतूंगा मैं, यह मेरा वादा है. जीतूंगा मैं, यह मेरा वादा है, क्योंकि कोशिश मेरी सबसे ज़्यादा है. हिम्मत भले डगमगाए पर टूटे नहीं, क्योंकि मजबूत बहुत मेरा इरादा है, मजबूत बहुत मेरा इरादा है. Perhaps this is the one thing common among all those who made history. Unshakable intent, even when the path was uncertain. Because every meaningful journey begins with the moment one chooses conviction over comfort. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the man of the hour, the game changer, Mr. Bharat Gite, Managing Director and CEO of Taural India. The man whose journey feels like a quiet reminder that true success is not measured by how far we go, but by what we choose to build when we return. We are also privileged to have with us today Mr. Nikhil Bharadwaj, Head Corporate Communications, Bajaj General Insurance. Please join me in welcoming him with a huge round of applause as well. Dear audience, what you are about to witness is nothing short of a preface to a bestseller book, a trailer to a blockbuster hit, one that captures vision, values, and journeys worth emulating. May I please request Mr. Gite, Mr. Bharadwaj, along with our beloved director, Dr. Shikha ma'am, to launch the AV that takes us through Mr. Gite's inspirational entrepreneurial journey.
It is the story of one man's belief, Bharat Gite.
नाही भरतचे तर खूप गुणच आहेत हो. ते कसं आहे छोट्या फॅक्टरीला आमचीच पूजा आहे आई वडिलांच्या हातात. 6 जण लेकरांना शिकवायचं म्हणजे काही साधी गोष्ट नसते.
As a student, he dreamt big, despite only having limited resources in the village back in the 90s. Today, his dream has taken form in the shape of a huge factory in Zakar. In the year 2000, Bharat set foot in the College of Engineering, Pune, and an executive master's from Harvard Business School.
I remember very clearly, every year we used to come to India in December. We used to spend time with our families. So he always used to explore the industries. So he used to, travel to Karnataka sometimes, to, maybe Coimbatore sometimes. There was always this vision, from blurred to getting clarity.
This vision took shape when Taural India was established in 2016.
सर हमें इतना अच्छा लाइफ में सिखाए, काम बताए, सीखने का चांस दिए, मौका दिए, कंपनी बड़ी हुई जो आज बहुत कुछ.
Every stage in India, be it construction of the industrial shed, installation and commissioning of machinery, training my co-workers, making the first casting, dispatching it to Germany. Every phase of it I have enjoyed and never felt that it's a very small work in front of my professional career in Germany.
His commitment to Make in India has not only driven self-sufficiency, but also inspired a new generation of Indian manufacturers. In In 2018, Mr. Bharat Gite was honored with the invitation to the panel of 30 Indian entrepreneurs for the pre-budget conference in 2020. He is a leader who believes in innovation with integrity, growth with purpose, and success with responsibility. He's known today as the Aluminium Man of India. But for those who know him closely, he's much more. A self-made doer, dreamer, and a nation builder.
Wow, how incredible. Truly a journey from Bharat se Bharat tak. What we just witnessed was a masterclass in a journey driven with passion, purpose, perseverance, and national responsibility. On behalf of the Deccan Education Society, Institute of Management Development and Research, IMDR, I am delighted to welcome you all to Stories in Samvad, My Story Session, a unique platform that brings you closer to inspiring leaders, entrepreneurs, and change makers. To begin with the event, may I please request our distinguished guests for the day, Mr. Gite, Mr. Bharadwaj, and Dr. Shekha Jain, to join us on the stage, please. And meanwhile, as leadership, inspiration, and professional excellence is on their way to join us on stage, I am reminded of another relevant quote. ख्वाब वही जो आपको सोने न दे और जिम्मेदारी वही जो आपको रुकने न दे. Our guest today, Mr. Gite, is a living example of the above quote. It is indeed my privilege to introduce Mr. Bharat Gite, Managing Director and CEO, Taural India. Mr. Gite's journey began in Bid, Maharashtra, and took him to world-class centers of engineering and manufacturing. An alumnus of COEP and RWTH Akin, he gained global experience with BMW and Mahle GmbH. Yet, the defining moment came when he chose to return to India. Under the Make in India initiative, he founded Taural India, building a world-class aluminum foundry in just 30 months, serving critical sectors like defense, aerospace, railways, and healthcare. What sets him apart is purpose, driving indigenization, sustainable manufacturing, and talent development. His journey shows that global knowledge, when guided by Indian purpose, can transform industries and strengthen the nation. Please join me in giving a warm, heartfelt IMDR welcome to Mr. Gite. May I please request Director IMDR to kindly come forward and felicitate our esteemed guest.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much for doing the honors. Moving ahead, to guide today's conversation and bring to us the insight from Gite's exceptional entrepreneurial journey, we are joined by an accomplished professional and a proud IMDR alumnus. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Nikhil Bharadwaj, Head Corporate Communications, Bajaj General Insurance. With nearly 2 decades of experience in general insurance sector, Mr. Nikhil has grown within the organization from a management trainee to leading its strategic communication agendas. He drives internal and external communications, brand reputation, media relations, and integrated storytelling, working closely with senior leaderships to craft purpose-led narratives. Beyond corporate leadership, he is deeply committed to mentorship and learning, regularly engaging with academic institutions and young professionals, making him an ideal moderator for today's session. May I now request Shikha ma'am again to kindly come forward and felicitate Mr. Bharadwaj.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am, for doing that honors for us. Again, a warm welcome to our guests. The stage is set, the curiosity is built in, and I see that our audience is super excited. May I now request Mr. Nikhil Bharadwaj to take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to IMDR and the DE campus. It's awesome to have you here. And just reading about you and watching this video was the essence of what India is today and where we want India to be. So I'm not just an IMDR alumnus, I'm also a Ferguson alumnus. So this is kind of special for me sitting in this amphitheater here. So I think short introduction, I mean, you all have seen the video. In fact, even he said it, that is there a need for a Q&A? Because I think now you can directly jump to audience questions and kind of fulfill your curiosity there. But I will guide it a little bit through because I'm sure a lot of you are on the brink of considering whether to go into the corporate side or to get into the entrepreneurial side. And here is a shining example of why entrepreneurial side is something that you should definitely consider in your career mindset. Obviously, as we know, today's story is about Bharat, and you know he's the co-founder of Taural India. Has a very humble beginning from Purley Beed, which is a very small town in the Beed district. Comes from a humble farmer family who made it to COEP. That itself, for in our generation, would have been life achieved and done. Because in the engineering setup, that was a number one college to get into, and still is in Maharashtra to a certain extent. After that, obviously, he went through a variety of things, the most important being the Germany training in RWTH Aachen, where he gained experience and worked in world-class manufacturing environments, including Mali and BMW. He's also, on the management side, done a course with Harvard, which is an amazing thing. And he's received multiple awards. I don't need to tell you about them, you all have already seen. But what impresses me most that he's called the Aluminium Man of India. And by the way, if you can research about him getting the trophy from the Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself, amongst so many other distinguished dignitaries that he's had the exposure of being, and he's contributed a lot to our country, especially on the export side, as you all saw Rajnath ji giving him the award on the defense side, where we kind of curtailed our expenditure, if I were to put it that way. Once again, welcome to IMDR. Before I start my questions.
Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you, IMDR, Shikha madam. And when I was also, this is a surprise for me that they are just showing this video first time, the first cut of it. Maybe few additional fine tuning will be done in coming days. So it was also surprise for me, and maybe we have to take it this way. This was also helpful for the Nikhil. If he comes from the boardroom and directly jumps into the interview, it would have been a good information for you also to ask the question, but looks like you have prepared a lot big questions. I hope I would be able to give the appropriate answers, which will be helpful for the young and dynamic students sitting here in this auditorium. So thank you very much.
Right. So Bharat, I think to jump in, I think one question which I'm sure is on everybody's mind, coming from Purley Beed, especially in Ferguson, I remember, because I still remember my first 11th standard day in Ferguson, you feel smaller than life anyway, right? You feel that where have you come, what is this huge place? And coming from a tier 2 town and, then suddenly being pushed into a space like Pune and COEP for that matter, how did it feel? And how did you kind of get to grips with that? So I'm taking everybody through this journey. So Purley to COEP, how did it feel? How did you finally feel that you belonged?
Yeah, so this is very good question and very, heart-touching, I would say. You nailed it, because this is the something when I entered at Pune campus, COEP campus. Of course, the one good part about this magnificent or the amazing and magical campus is They are having an old-fashioned building. That's why you can relate to your rural side of it. But at the same time, I remember when I was walking on the campus first day, from my left and right, the two-wheelers and four-wheelers were just driving like in a quick manner. I could see the side chat of the students, the girls and boys having their fine-tuned English, very Puneri, typical Marathi. I was wondering whether I will be the person, I will be the student who can settle down here, or I have to change my college. Let me go back to Aurangabad or somewhere in Sambhajinagar. Because coming from Parli, which is a Marathwada region with my mountain, kind of a mountainside hinterland language with the Marathwada accent, Yulale Daulale. So I was wondering whether I will really make my career and make my degree here. But I would like to tell you the kind of learning what we get from the tier 2, tier 3 city, rural side of Maharashtra or rural India. I'm not discriminating anyone from the rural to urban population, but kind of struggle, hard work, what you do to come to a big cities like Pune itself teaches you a lot. How to swim against the flow.
Yeah.
And that has actually given me a confidence. Let's stay tuned. Let's stay here. We will have our group. And we were fortunate to have a group of students coming from Uttar Maharashtra, North Maharashtra, Vidarbha, Marathwada, and Kolhapur side. So Western Maharashtra. So it was always a kind of, I would say, you guys are student now, so kind of a groupism. Always the people from Latur, Parbhani, Aurangabad will be seen together, which is also like a family, extended family feeling. But I have never actually settled down or never actually got really into the only region or the somebody coming from Latur is only my friend. I had always friendship with people coming from Jalgaon, Nagpur, and that kind of learning from the different region, different mindset has given me a mentor like Prafulla Chaudhary, who was my 3 years senior. Today he is having a fantastic career in Goldman Sachs. Earlier he was with Morgan Stanley. So such kind of humble background students who made a career which is brighter than anyone in Mumbai, where like I was fortunate to find them at this campus. And this happens only in a campus like COEP, Ferguson College, for the Deccan Education Society. This is where the whole world, whole Maharashtra, India melts down here to create a different culture, which will make the difference in the society.
Absolutely. Completely agree. And I think moving on from COEP, now the typical template of engineers, and I don't know how many of you all will get to engineering at some stage or have been, was that MS karo or bahar jao. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. कि MS करने के लिए बाहर जाते हैं और फिर वहीं settle होके, and typically even if you've done MEC, you will do MS and you will get into a software company or get into a consultancy and then kind of that model. So why this completely different model of getting on the manufacturing, and what did you exactly do in Germany? And of course, if you can also run through a little bit ahead into what you did with BMW and Mahle, and why manufacturing and why core into that is a question that I always wanted to ask you.
So it's a very long question.
Yeah, sorry. We can break it down.
We can break it down. Maybe you can break it wherever I'm going too long. So it has to be very crisp and clear. It has to be useful for the students sitting here. My vision was very clear. And I would suggest, whenever I'm telling you the story, I would like to even give a piece of advice if it helps in your career. One has to have a very clear idea of what kind of career, what kind of actually future professional life you want to have. This is the time where each one of you, whether it is undergrad, postgrad, this is where you have to decide what is my interest. as you correctly said, most of the, I'm happy that you are, I am here, the pass out from the MBA college, and before that you were at the Ferguson College, and you entered into a field of insurance. You are not engineer. You have not wasted one seat of engineering. It's a very clear for me that I wanted to pursue a career in engineering only. You are right. After 12th, it was always doctor or engineer was the two professional career we had in our times in 1980s and 90s. So secondly, once you are in engineering, then they always ask MS, MTech, IIT, where you want to do the postgrad. So for me, choosing Pune was very much deciding point to go abroad to US. So I'm just giving my really first love was US, and then I will tell you how I chose Germany. During my career at metallurgical engineering, I realized the best metallurgical institutes and universities are present in Germany. If you take any example, whether it is a knife, whether it is a car, whether it is any kind of steel or metal, we always say that even that mouth organ is great from Germany because it has the best of best quality steel. So I was told by one of the visionary metallurgists at Bharat Forge, because my course was also a sandwich pattern. I chose particularly sandwich pattern where I spent 1 year out of my 4 years of academic year at the Bharat Forge at the industrial factory, where I learned actual practical processes. I learned the professionals, how what kind of actually career path you have in the future. So Dr. P.S. Rao has guided me for RWTH Aachen, and this is how I chose Aachen University, and this is how I entered into the field of manufacturing.
Interesting.
So,
Very interesting.
further, you asked me a question of
BMW Mahle.
BMW Mahle. So, coming from a very small town, we always have India at heart and our soil that I wanted to contribute to, even to Marathwada, to Parali, काहीतरी करायचंय आपल्या मातीसाठी. So that feeling was always there, though I was having a comfortable life in Germany. Everything was set. I was having a career with BMW and Mahle, two multinational companies, and having a project of $1 million US, having a worth of 10 crore rupees. But I wanted to find a technological gap where this technology can be utilized back to your country, and I found that there are very few players or no manufacturing companies present in India who are doing the custom made, intricate and high pressure casting for defense, railway, energy. This technological gap I have found, and each and every moment when I was having a working hours at BMW or Mahle, I used to think that why can't we have a same kind of a work culture, systematic machineries, robotic, all the automations, why it is missing in India. But I was fortunate to work with Bharat Forge, which was then in 2005 also. It was a high-tech and up to the mark company because they had acquired inorganic growth. They have done a lot of acquisition in China, Germany, USA, and they actually upgraded them to the today's technology. But still there were few gaps which I wanted to bring it to India, and this is how my vision after staying there, or my dream after staying in Germany for 10 years has started to come back.
Interesting. I think from 10 CR to 500 CR plus is what his current net worth is, probably a lot more. So that is a journey that we're going to discuss more on. So returning to a decision, it takes a lot of courage to move from a typical career goal of, deciding what you want to do, picking an industry or picking a course to moving to entrepreneurship? Now, obviously, coming to India, and I think your wife alluded to it in the video, it was a tough decision, right?
Yeah.
How did you have the courage, or what conviction did it take, or what was the tipping point that made you want to take that decision to come to India? Because it's not easy. I mean, once settled abroad, that's the dream, right? For all of us Indians. Once you're there, अभी तो H1B मुश्किल हो गया, but तब मिल गया, lottery लग गई, be there. Coming back, why and what was the reason and conviction about it?
So even I heard her first time saying this, but it was a tough decision, of course. For her, for me, it was more or less अपना Bharat, Desh Bhakti was always there. But for a woman, for a wife, leaving a country where you have all the comfort, of course, the comfort means you have to do your daily course with your own hand, picking up the basket, getting the weekly shopping. But that's also fun, and that's also something like an independency. Though I don't drive, but my driver drives my Porsche Cayenne, but I feel all the time that better I drive it because I lived in Germany. So only the roads, the traffic is not really allowing me to drive. Otherwise, it's better to do the things with your own hand. So it was a comfortable life. I would not complain about what typical US people, US Indian people complain about, that we don't have maid, bhai nahi aati. That's a side story. But life is good. A clean environment, very good work culture. At least I'm talking about Germany. Very good social securities. Even the financial crisis like 2007-8, we had only 2 days working or 3 days working. We were at home 4 days, but we were getting our 90% of the payment. Only 10% was missing. So you can imagine, everything was there. But it was also a very early young stage where I made this decision, where you don't have a very much settled life, though it was comfortable, but it was also not having something like millions and crores of rupees in my bank account, or very much assured professional career over that I can't take the risk. I always say the risk you can take when you are young. The responsibilities are less. I was having a kid, a 2.5 years old son. That's where I can take a decision whether he has to go to the German kindergarten or English kindergarten. Was not affordable for me because it was like very expensive being in Germany. So I took the decision on the multiple front. It was very logical decision. Let's try something. Let's do this technology in India. If it doesn't work, I was having always a standby letter of credit, SBLC, to go back to Germany. This kind of plan A, B, C need to be always in the place. If A doesn't work, you can always opt for B. If the B, then you don't have to broke down. You can always go for the C. That kind of a strategy you should have in your career, in your entrepreneurship career, or any kind of even life journey also. You should always have this is at least my thought, I always keep the worst case scenario in my mind and I keep going further on my journey.
It's a very good learning. I think all of us have to time our decisions right, because entrepreneurial journeys don't just start overnight. They require a lot of planning. I think worst case scenario or risk management is a very important part of your individual lives.
I would like, if you allow me,
Please.
I would like to add one more thing. When I say that ABC plans, even I started a company where I imagined the exit also. This is where the exit strategy or the exit policy has to be also in the place. What will happen if I have to really stop this company and terminate this whatever the format it is, LLP or private limited or whatever. So you have to imagine that step also.
True, true. I think now, let's imagine that you come back to India, you are here now, you kind of have an idea of what you want to do, but you are still heading into a particular direction. How did Taural actually hit the road? Why aluminium? Why Taural? And in whatever little I know, steel and iron was the more fancy industry. Aluminium was German bhandi, as we
Yes.
have in our homes. Was one of the more popular use of German aluminium, but obviously it got faded away because it used to fade and white. So aluminium, why Taural, and how did that whole journey come along?
Aluminium is the second largest popular material after steel only, and it is becoming more and more popular. There is a very nice document written by Dr. V.K. Saraswat, who was a DRDO chairman also, and he is actually member at Niti Aayog. He has written that the world's average consumption of aluminium is 11 kg per capita, whereas India is consuming at 2.7, which has reached recently. I gave that aluminium man to Baba Kalyani, and then I told him, "आप steel में ही आगे बढ़ रहे हो, aluminium." I have also put up the plant in Hyderabad, so aluminium has grown from 2.7 to now it's somewhere 4.2, but it is still low at a world's average, and the developed countries like Germany is consuming at 32 to 36 kg. Why? Because it's a durable metal, it's non-corrosive, it's a green metal. Of course, it creates the carbon footprint when we are producing it from the ore to aluminium. But once the aluminium is produced, the recycling of aluminium is easier as far as the energy or emission is considered. It's also lightweight metal, so automatically the lighter car, lesser fuel, lesser maintenance. All these things are applicable for every mobility, be it aeroplane, train or car. So all these characteristics make aluminium a preferred choice for the world, which world is not still adopting, because world of India, because the scientists, the architects, the designers, and some of you might choose a career into the designing, product design. So you will be also a part of that. So I'm just giving you a small request that aluminium can be used in many ways. Only the designers, the scientists, they have to decide on that. Then the properties of the metal, the metallurgist will come in the play, because the designer will say that this is my wind load, this is my bearing capacity of the car. And then after that, the material engineers, the metallurgists will try to do it with the alloying with silicon, some kind of copper element, doing the heat treatment to strengthen it. So it will be a preferred metal soon in India. As Mr. Baba Kalyani said, it is increasing and it will reach to the world average at least soon. I am trying to do my bit in that, going to a different location, different sectors. Like recently, I had a very good talk with Road and Transport Ministry with Shri Gadkari ji to make the crash barrier in aluminium, because it's a very, the elongation is good. It's a very elastic material. Wherever the car or the truck collides, it will rebound and come back to the track. So it can be used as a crash barrier also. So I am trying to do more awareness about aluminium. And that's the reason I chose aluminium as a preferred metal.
Right. But the starting of the organization. So run us through the steps as to how you started off the organization, why the plant is in Chakan, obviously the first one. How did that come about? Because I know Make in India was an important part of that journey in some way, and that's why you having a public infrastructure in place is important. But knowing which doors to knock and how to utilize it, how did that journey come about?
So it's a very step-by-step journey, I would say. I don't see too much into the future. I don't look into the past, regretting the things or cherishing the old moment. It's better to live in today. I always get mini steps, mini visions. I don't see that apart or the ahead of 10 years, what I will do. I look into years targets. So I chose Khed Shivapur was my first stint on the Bangalore highway. That's where I started a small company with the 10 workers. And I proved myself that the German quality, the same product can be made in India with the Indian hands. I trained my co-workers. I worked with them for 9-10 months. And then after 2 years, I realized that I can make these products, but I don't have a further finance to really make it big company. There used to be a customer like Siemens, ABB, which were like a multinational customer. They are today in my portfolio as a client base, but they were actually coming to my plant and saying that this guy is a technocrat, but he is there and 10 workers. There is no further processes after the raw casting, the raw product, machining, painting, quality system, supply chain is missing. And this is where it took me to the international market again. And I tried to search for the right business partner and got to know through Hanover Messe. I was part of the delegation of the government of Maharashtra. I accompanied Sri Devendra Fadnavis in 2015 when even the first time India has inaugurated the Make in India Lion in a big conference hall of Hanover in Germany. And over there, I got to know few connects. I tried to search for the right people. And finally, I got to know Tony Alutek, Mr. Lothar Tony, a family-owned organization which went into the multiple 100 millions of revenue. And they were also looking for right partner in India. In fact, they came to India in 2011. We met in 2015 after 4 years. 2011, they said that we will never come to this country. After seeing the infrastructure, seeing the people, the customer base, industry visit. And I'm happy to mention this, that the same guy who said that I will never invest in this country has invested more than 1,000 crore today. How did it happen? It happened because of a journey which I have really walked on in a country like Germany, understanding their culture, discipline, punctuality. How do they do the things at the best level? Because if we say that if it is German, it should be perfect. At least so far, that kind of a dilemma, that kind of a phrase is always there. So I learned that, and this, my 10 years stint in Germany could convince that guy to relook into India, and he promised me that I can invest maximum 5 million, but that count has gone beyond 100 million today.
Impressive. Impressive, very impressive. Now, of course, let's say Taural India began. I think we all still require that first win, the first customer or a first testimonial or somebody backing you, because entrepreneurs get jittery typically when they just start because, hey, am I on the right path? Do I have the right customers? What was that first push or that first success that, said, yes, I can do this and, this is what is going to guide me ahead?
Yeah, this is a good question. This reminds me one of the, I will not take the name, but the Marathi author, we are in discussion, but he said, काहीतरी असं झिंग काहीतरी प्रियशी सोडून गेली, कोणीतरी अपमान केला.
Who broke your heart?
What has happened in your life that has made you an entrepreneur? So this is a very similar question.
Kind of.
And I will give a very motivating answer which motivates me for the life. And good that you are asking question and I'm sitting with a very qualified person who is equally, he has to be interviewed as well. So he is your alumni and he is asking me question which is also triggering me to look back and really see the moment, what has changed my whole career. What motivates you? I can tell you, during this very raw 10 people's company on the Bangalore highway, Khed Shivapur, it was a very raw, unorganized, I can't say, because I lived in Germany. I know how to lay out the machineries, how to make the process flow. So I took a managing director of a company located near Augsburg, near in southern part of Germany. I was fortunate to take him to my plant because normally such the CXO level people, MD level people will never visit this company like this, but we had some connections. We had some kind of a common friend and he said that let's sit for a beer in the evening. I said beer तो बाद में पियेंगे यार पहले अपन फैक्ट्री हमारा देख के आओ. तो उसको कन्विंस किया 5 बजे गए तो after seeing the Bangalore highway traffic, Sinhagad, Nare and all and taking, I mean, you can imagine it was 2015, 14-15. Now, to lot of bridges has been built on that Kailas Bhed and all. So life has become easier to go to Mahabaleshwar and Goa for all of us. So, but still, I mean, furthermore, the hurdles are there. So I took him and though it was a national highway, Bombay-Bangalore highway, he was relatively happy with the road. But after taking the exit of that national highway, seeing all the potholes and khaddas and all, he said that kaise we will land up in some kind of a very bad company, very much gaon wali company. The surrounding was also like that. The typical गांव की feeling, एक मंदिर, बाकी के रास्ते पे पतरे के किराना दुकान. And then he came to the factory, he saw everything, he didn't utter a word. And after drinking one beer, he said that this factory is better than Germany.
Nice.
This is what motivates you. This is what motivates you for the life. And you will never forget this. I said it at the same conference when I was the smallest person. I was the smallest owner, MD of the company amongst the panelists from Siemens, ABB. It was the same guy who is introducing me, the hidden champion, the Steinrucker, who was a director, who was then Director General of IGCC, Indo-German Chamber of Commerce. Our people, I mean, that's why I said that edit will happen. They should add this, who the heck this Gite is? And who is this company Taural India? Never heard of it. And then he says he is our hidden champion. So among such people, I narrated this story, and even the same kind of applaud has come from a Taj Mahal Palace in Kulaba with all the national CEOs of all the banks and investors. But after seeing my kind of a story, a lot of people let me open this secret also amongst the students. There are not many like media or something. So many people think after seeing me on all this visibility, social media, that I might be approaching and looking for IPO, or I might be looking for investor, but nothing like that. I just wanted to, or I want to motivate the students like you who will also try to get some kind of the story, some kind of a small milestone from my life journey, which will motivate you to make the difference for this country, create the job, make the good career. That's why I try to do all these things. There is no agenda behind that we want to go for IPO or investor. We have a very proven investors which are giving us the LIBOR rate, interest rate money. So, thank you.
Thank you. I think more than you saying it out, I think these stories need to be told, because I don't think we celebrate our manufacturing as much as we celebrate some of our services or banks or for that matter, many other things. So, we should succeed at this as well. I think now that Taural began, and now I think you're 1,000+ setup. Now suddenly from a lone entrepreneur with 10 people moving on to a 750, then 1,000 people setup. What did you have to unlearn? Because I think you've spoken about unlearning and relearning again. I think a lot of entrepreneurship is about unlearning. So what did you unlearn? And of course, how did you manage so many people? Because having an excellent view, because you've been in Germany, is great. but getting people aligned to that point of view, getting aligned to that, sort of culture, how did that happen?
I will talk about learning and unlearning for myself first, and then how did I try to, or I build a team. First is like unlearning started when you think about that the entrepreneurship journey. You have to forget means not in the all real sense, but you have to stop thinking about your education career. I was at a manager, project manager, I was handling this and that. Unlearning started when I was standing in front of machine in Germany itself, and I was told, I was instructed to make the mold with my own hand, and this is where your real experience starts. In the boardroom, in the labs, in the classroom, we can say many things, we can read many articles, we can read many books, we can read many technologies, but doing it with your hand was something, that's where I started unlearning my education. I said, this is the field now, this is my turf, I have to go ahead with that. A lot of people used to tease me, though I don't have PhD, they used to say, Dr. Gite, how does it feel? Having this kind of education on the back, and you are working with the next to you, an Italian guy who is hardly educated, a guy from Turkey who is an operator, and you are working with such uneducated people. So that is where actually the kind of dream vision what you have for the long term, which is Taural India today, I could see from that day, and that's what has not demotivated me. About the building the team, I mean, how did I really selected the people? Beggars are not choosers, I always say. I was having a company which was not known at all. 2018 also he said that who the heck this company is. So it was very difficult for me to recruit the people first of all. If I succeed somehow recruiting one or two, retaining them was a big challenge because they were not, I mean, I was sure that I will pay their salary, but they were not sure that he will pay my salary after 6 months or not. That was my problem. So I used to tell them that I can make a FD, fixed deposit for your name for the next 2 years, and it will be like the account where you can pull your salary from that for next 2 years. But still people used to say that कि difficult boss, आप अपना देखो, आपका salary खुद का नहीं निकल पा रहा है, तो आप, so this was difficult, and then training those people was another challenge. Recruiting, retaining, training, and then of course a human being has a 10,000 thoughts in a day, and that you learn during a work like when I was physically doing the work at the foundry. That's where you think, मेरा बच्चा स्कूल में गया होगा कि नहीं. 6 to 9 was the time in the early morning where you don't keep thinking too much. You only work. And this is also something I experienced when you make a career as a worker, you have to also put yourself into a shoe of worker, and I did that. I was not thinking at all about technology, anything. 6 to 9 early morning time, I used to make the best and the record break molds in 3 hours. Then after that you become a lethargic. So this kind of thought process, 10,000 thought process, always try to disturb your workforce. कहीं दूसरी जगह पे the grass is greener on the other side, a colleague thing. All these things you have to tackle as well. I try to do it with my own mind. I have a set of 8 to 10 people who are like nearly replica of mine, and I always play a team as a chessboard. We have to always see that where you have to take that elephant out, where you have to go for the horse, and how to play around the people is very important thing.
I think very well put. I think you have won so many awards. I mean, the achievements, we all saw it on the screen. what is one particular success or achievement that you're, probably the most proud of? That, as a person or as a company, or, what is it that you would always say that this is my proudest moment?
Uh, I said it on the screen also. That is what I will talk about, because there are awards at the hands of the Raksha Mantri. But the award which has really brought me in an emotional moment, uh, I have seen a journey, so I will not break into the tears, the joy tears. But I was really emotional and I was really speechless when I got an award in a city like Frankfurt, and the country where I learned most of my professional career, my early days. That is where I was really speechless, because I was very much proud of that moment, and it was not typically a German crowd. It was also the industry minister of Maharashtra was present, a 400 or 400, 400, 500 Indian professionals, students, the entrepreneurs from France, Germany, Switzerland, they were in the audience. Some of the Germans were also there, and the same guy who was on the screen was on the stage.
Okay.
So he also understood now Taural is also climbing to the next level.
Nice. Now, in between all of this, and I know as an entrepreneur, managing your personal life and your professional life, finding that balance, I know we call it work-life balance, ऐसा कुछ होता नहीं है by the way, but finding that balance, and how do you manage to do that and give that dedicated, also the fact that your parents, I believe, would still be in Bid, or have they come back to Pune?
No, they are still in Parliament.
Yeah, so then
my
how do
father
you,
is no more, but
yeah,
my mother.
sorry to hear that, but how do you keep in touch? How do you balance your life out, and how does that work?
I liked your first comment that ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है, and I would like to withdraw the attention of the young students here. वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस ऐसा कोई कंसेप्ट नहीं होता है. बहुत सारे लीडर ने बोला है, इलॉन मस्क ने बोला है, नारायण मूर्ति ने बोला है. बट आई keep learning. I'm a student for life. I keep learning wherever I go. I went to China and I read one line over there: enjoy work, cherish life. If there is no work, there is no life also. So there is no such concept of work-life balance. You have to, of course, somehow manage both shows together. You have to really take some time out for your family. I was coming for this program. I asked my son, Ishan, who is like 16 years old, very bright student. I see myself in him when I see 5:30 he is waking up and studying. Sometimes we think that whenever our routine is like 6:15 we wake up. Sometimes we feel that today he is sleeping, and we just pop out from our door and he is still there. So which motivates me. So he also said that, no, Dad, my daughter, she is 9. She said that you are always going for program, some kind of a meeting, commitment. You are never at home. So I always try to give some time to them, taking them for some long drive, going to a small land I have. Over there we grow some vegetables. Some kind of culture is in the blood. And they also like to play with the sand, mud, grass, which we have to give it to our children, that they need to see the real soil also. Today they are living all the time on the concrete jungle. So they need to also see the real soil. I was told by one good therapist that our bodies, our whole structure is having a lot of different diseases, pains, because we are not connected to the soil. We are living somewhere 22nd floor from the ground. So all these things, spending time with the family, I mean the kind of a small vegetable gardening, that keeps me engaging. And meeting the people is my something hobby, learning from them. Uh, Again, the watching movies over the weekend with family is something like our routine. Saturday and Sunday. Sunday not, but Saturday. We are also typically now Germans. Over there, Sunday evening we can't go more than 9 p.m. But Friday and Saturday we can stretch to the midnight.
That's nice. So he's human after all. You need to also have your human side, and you can't just be work, 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 and family needs to be given time as well. But like he said, if work is good, life is joy. I'm sorry, you might have misquoted that, but yeah. I think now that Taural is doing so well, every entrepreneur has a purpose beyond just business. And, purpose is something bigger than the organization, something bigger than the entrepreneur. For you as a manufacturing entrepreneur, what is the purpose or what is the contribution that you want to make to this nation? Whenever it is that you decide, an entrepreneur never hang up their boots, but let's say the day you want to hang up your boots and let the next generation take over, what would be your purpose for the country?
See, my whole concept of bringing the German technology in India was something very on a social front, very patriotic thing what has brought me back to country. And I would like to just give you the one incidence when I met, you guys have seen I'm giving the aluminium man to the Prime Minister. Modi ji ko maine diya, and I must say that a kind of leaders at that stature doesn't go to a position of Prime Minister without without their kind of empathy. I took that aluminium man and then he hold from the other side because he thought it's heavy. It's aluminium, that's why it is light. I didn't have time to tell the aluminium story though, but he said that आपने क्या इसमें इसको 3D printing में बनाया? I said no, मोदी जी ये तो कास्टिंग है. अच्छा, अरे कास्टिंग इतना सुंदर बनाया आपने. So I said I learned this technology यहाँ पे जर्मनी में और अभी उसको इंडस्ट्रियल एप्लीकेशन में इंडिया में इस्तेमाल कर रहा हूँ. He said आप देश सेवा कर रहे हो. That words, that kind of a compliment actually brings you further to contribute for the society. I always say Taural India is not only a private organization. It's a organization which has a larger purpose also to give the Atmanirbhar Bharat, Make in India, make the country more independent from the imports, as well as recruiting the engineers, bringing it to the rural side of Maharashtra, rural side of India also. My thought is always that if the rural India develops, then only the country will flourish to a largest economy of this world. Similarly, I can see a lot of female in this auditorium. Even same thing, the woman empowerment, the woman workforce has to come into the churning wheel. Then only we can enhance it to the two times. So rural Maharashtra, I am putting the next plant in Supa, which will bring the employment in a rural Maharashtra, as well as out of 800, maybe a 50 people will be demigrated to the rural Maharashtra, which will help us to actually make this city more livable. The elections are going on, but livable is something very important.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, last question if I may, I think obviously students here are at a juncture in their life where they are uncertain or don't know kahan jana hai, and you also came from an uncertain background to now something that's so great. What is that word of advice at this stage? I mean, whatever in their graduation, post-graduation, or some maybe even younger, is what they should have clarity of thought on. I think you spoke about ambition, that's one. But what is the direction that they should take where we can have more entrepreneurs in the future?
A couple of advice I have already given. I might reiterate them. Uh, I would like to say one thing which I said it earlier also. Point of interest in your career is very important. That's something like a step one. Somebody likes journalism, somebody likes to write, somebody likes to do some kind of music thing, let's say the law, even psychology. There are so many different interesting topics are there in front of you. So I always feel that you guys are blessed, but at the same time you guys are also really in a critical world, because our competition was with book, your competition is with internet. So every day the world is changing like rapidly. You are studying something, but something else will come tomorrow. We think that you guys are blessed because you don't need any kind of ratta mugging up the things, but you guys are having internet in front of you to study everything. But if I see my son, even at a younger age, what kind of preparation he has to prepare for his next day demonstration, conference, presentation is very challenging. That's why interest, field of interest is very important. Second thing, don't rush up, don't hurry up for the entrepreneurial journey. Take out time. First of all, education, couple of years experience, and then you can think about the starting something. I have seen many times just after graduation somebody wants to start, that's fine. But then even if you start and you fail, 90% of the startup fails or more than that, doesn't mean that you are actually a failure for life or you are an unsuccessful person of this earth. Every failure is a new beginning of the success. That is what I feel. I failed many times. I failed coming back from Germany also. I was about to pack my bag in 2015 and go back to Germany for a professional career. But I made my entrepreneurship career and you can see the story now. So be patient, plan ABC. Every one plan is failing, the another plan will have some kind of a future for you. So these are the 3-4 advice I would like to give to the students.
That's that, folks. Thanks for your time. And I would just like all of you to celebrate him with us, because, you know, it's rare to find people with such humble beginnings making the nation such an awesome place that it is, and obviously encouraging all of us to become entrepreneurs. And I'm very, very hopeful that some of you will embark on that journey, and Make in India is not just a political statement, but it's something that we want to stand by, and even more so in today's geopolitical environment. Thanks a lot for your time. Thank you, Shikha ma'am. A round of applause for him, please. I didn't get you. Yeah. So I think we still have time. We still have 12, 13 minutes for audience questions. So would love to hear some really, really good questions. Just put your hand up and yeah, just say your piece.
Good evening, sir. My name is Amar, and good evening, Bharat sir and Nikhil sir as well. So my question is, Taural India is completely into aluminum casting, and because of its lighter weight and easy moldability and castings as well. So as compared to the aluminum, there are other metals like there is a carbon fiber which is 40% lighter and tougher than aluminum. Then why Taural India is only considering aluminum castings, or there are any future plans getting into other metals or considering carbon fiber?
You are engineer, you are deep into the technologies. So the carbon fiber, the polymers will replace the metal for sure, but it will not replace 100%. I am also in a field of very niche products which won't be replaceable, Maybe India was imagining it will be replaceable. That's why no Bharat has come so far to produce this maybe 20 years back. But I know certain things will not be replaceable because of the mechanical properties, a strength, a hardness, what you need to run the mobility like train, aerospace. Few of the components, of course, the researchers, the metallurgists are always trying to find the lighter version of it, which can be a carbon, polymers and all the carbon fibers. I can see when I visit a university like ETH, where Einstein studied, and I must say this, that a lot of Indian bright students, PhD students, you will see over there on the campus. Because my son has ambition to study there, so we keep going there, having the interaction with the professors. So over there I have seen all this research with the carbon fiber and everything. Once it comes to the industrialization, then I will jump into it. Because I am not into the research, I am an entrepreneur. So business people always work with the researchers, the scientists and the institution. That's where, but it will come, but it can't replace the totally aluminum.
Thank you, sir.
See, the first step of entrepreneurship is not being scared. So just stand up and ask a question. Yes, thank you. A gentleman in the back,
Even
please.
the first question was really good question.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a deeper question. I liked it. I hope he got the answer.
So you are from a small town, then getting into good college, then Germany, securing a good job, great job. So what is in your mind when you are thinking about it? I want to go back, I want to start. So what is like? Have you accounted for your financial things? What is the blueprint? Have you think about what if I will destroy everything what I have made in last many years? I started from a very humble beginning and I end up like nowhere. So what is your thought process? What is the blueprint like, before starting?
Yeah, I got your point. See, the humble beginning is the reason to take the risk also. Because the person who has seen the struggle, who has struggled to get a kind of a Diwali Ang, who could have brought me into the merit student, I lost it only for 3-4 marks because the distance was too far for us to travel also 10 kilometers away from hometown. I used to ask my father, whenever you go to Aurangabad, can you get me that Diwali Ang? So that's where 5 sarao, the papers will be there, and then you answer them with your, I mean, all honesty, and then it will come to Pune only to get examined, and then they will give you the recommendation, okay, what has gone wrong. So such kind of humble beginning where the resources were very acute. I was having no resources. All the communication used to happen with the kind of somebody, if comes from a bigger city, we used to fetch that guy like anything. That अरे भाई कितना ज्ञान मिलेगा इसलिए उसको ये करते थे. So ऐसे इसमें I think returning back to Germany, from Germany to India, that kind of step I have taken because I am a person who is ready for the any challenges at any time. Even today, we have taken one more challenge to go to Supa, which is like a 5 times bigger capacity than the Chakan plant. And honestly speaking, we are not sure that how much customer base we can acquire in the future. But I'm very optimistic. I recently visited Japan and I actually got one customer base on our portfolio, which is a Mitsubishi. Very difficult company, very difficult country to get the customer base. So I keep going, I keep challenging myself. I always, this is how my kids also say that you are always doing something. So my son has a total impression that my dad will be always occupied with something. If I'm at home, he will be wandering. And these kids also get motivation from you that he learns a lot during my journey also. Whenever I take him to my hometown, they are also very humble. I am fortunate that they are born in Germany. brought up here in the big city like Pune. So humble beginning is the reason for everything for me.
Sharon, one more thing to add to what he said, and with this I've seen with all the big leaders and entrepreneurs, they have a curiosity of a child. So just be curious, and if you listen to his journey, he saw something, he loved it, he wanted to do it, and he wanted to explore on his own. So that curiosity of a child is very important. But more than that, also going with the flow. Many a times what happens if you overplan. When you overplan, you tend to look too much into the future. And what did he say? I did not look too much into the future. What I can do now with my resources is what is more important. I think that's how entrepreneurs go with the flow and are able to be more flexible than, whereas if you look at a fixed career approach, if you don't get your dream college, your dream job, then you're like, oh shit, what do I do now? So I think that kind of approach really helps entrepreneurs blossom in the best way possible.
Yes, thanks Nikhil. I think that was the last part I missed, which he has covered, because too much planning will also not make you win. Too much, I'm saying. बिल्कुल घर पे जाके बिल्कुल प्लान मत करना, ऐसे मत करना.
Thank you, sir. Really, sir.
Too much planning or too much detailing will make you also bring you into a fear factor as well.
Any other questions, folks? Okay.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I have a question. That is, what has been the toughest leadership decision you have had to make, and what did it teach you?
See, I always keep telling when Nikhil has asked me about the team also, how do you handle this team? A leadership is something you have to really evolve yourself every day. As the technology, AI, about the IT footprint is there, similarly the human being, our daily routines, habits are changing. So accordingly, the leadership or keeping yourself leader is something a very challenging job, and you have to keep updating yourself. My leadership has been evolved in a country where I was foreigner. I was like an alien over there, because in that time the Germany, even today Germany has a lot of Indian population. In 2000 it was very less people over there. So they used to see me as a kahan se aaya hai, India, garib country वगैरह. So winning their mind was my leadership challenge. Bringing them under me as my reportee was also a challenge to me. Because I come from a very subordinate country. Let me say this, because this is what they think at least. And today India has changed a lot in 10 years. Even you guys are having all the knowledge about Germany, but 1990s, everyone was only reading in the book or newspaper. Today the information is available in internet anytime. So bringing those people under me and reporting to me was also a challenge, and I had to work really hard. You have to do your homework. You have to play a different strategies to make it happen, and this is how Ralph XYZ was actually disturbing me like anything on the shop floor. And then some fine day he said that Bharat Gite is like a Maharaja. He is an Indian Maharaja. So that's where I convinced him as my subordinate.
Thank you, sir.
I think for a couple of more questions, I think that should be fine. Yeah?
Good evening, sir. I'm Prajakta. Actually, I have 3 questions for you. The first one is very simple. How did you come up with the name Taural for your company? My second question would be, even I belong from a very rural background. So what is your approach, or what would be your ideas on a women empowerment in entrepreneurship? And my third would be a very quirky question, but while deciding your factor of why aluminum as a manufacturing plant, what was the reasons why not to choose aluminum? So I wanted to know that reason as well. Thank you.
So first question, Taurus is a zodiac sign, and aluminium is, so that's coming
Taural.
together, Taural. Second one is woman empowerment, woman contribution into the economy, especially from a rural side. The whole mindset has to change. In the big cities like Pune, it's not a big issue, but rural side, we have to also have a culture that the 50% of the population has to contribute in the daily discussions, their opinions. This is where it starts. When I used to take few Germans to my hometown, he said that there are no women. Where are they? So forget about this. Even if you go to the small place near Pune also, the same question these people will ask. And Ralph used to go and shake hand with my mother, which was the rarest moment. And my mother was also namaskar. Though she was very, very shy and afraid, but Ralph made her comfortable. So Ralph has even had a small meeting with all the women in the house. What do you do? Though the language was the barrier, somebody was translating. So all these things, the mindset has to change. And your last question, why, where we can't choose aluminium, this is over the strength, a kind of very heavy equipments. We don't have any substitute to steel. We have to use the steel because of its robust, heavy engineering properties.
I think just one on women empowerment. Sorry, you can sit down. It's okay. Chill. Basically, I think what happens is stereotypes need to be broken here. And I think women need to break those stereotypes. Now, even if I talk about insurance, women don't go into sales. Why? It's a stereotype. HR में जाएंगे, operations में जाएंगे, but sales में नहीं जाएंगे. Most women who get into sales do exceedingly better than men. But it's that mindset that needs to break. And that mindset is unfortunately internal. It's got nothing to do outside. बाहर क्या बोलते हैं हम वैसे ही करते हैं. नहीं. You decide why. Question it why. And he questioned it. If you saw, he said, I could have easily gone back to Aurangabad. I felt like I needed to go back. But that moment of clarity, nahi, I want to stick it out here. I want to do this. Is I think what sets it apart.
And I must say, there are very bright young girl students who are working with us and very bindast, going on the shop floor, working in the dust, foundry, everywhere. So that kind of attitude has to also come, and we have to create as an owner, we have to create a very friendly environment for them, like a posh kind of concepts are always there from the industry where the continuous meetings happen, that there should not be any taunting or any kind of a misbehavior, misconduct in the organization. And we are always promoting that. We always try to talk about in our town hall meeting, in a monthly meeting about this woman empowerment.
Creating a safe environment. Yeah. Okay, one last question. Anybody, if there is, sorry, we have overshot a little bit. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Hello, my name is Rishita, and my question to you is, what are the major challenges faced by the aluminium business in today's world, and how do you tackle them?
So, see, first of all, the methodology, the manufacturing concept were missing like 2-3 decades. The companies like Jai Hind, Endurance, they come up with a technology which were brought from Austria, Germany, and now our people are getting the expertise in that. Even they are doing a cannibalization, the kind of bringing the new technologies, new processes. Once you go into the water, you will learn the swimming. So now we are coming to a good level of aluminium manufacturing technology in India as well. But still the research, the kind of the young boy said that what will be the alternative material. Research and development is something which is still missing because we We also do most of the things which is like a replica of our European plant. But we need to bring the research approach also to the industry. We are doing a bit of it. We are also now introducing slowly. The design was there always from 5 years, but now simulation, the concept modeling here itself. Again, see, IP is something always the Europeans think that we might lose. That's where they are very cautious to go step by step. And this is where actually we have earned their confidence, and today we can say that we are also entering into the research field also, that everything can be done in India. This IP reminds me when I said the Lothar Tony came in 2011 and he said that I will never invest in this company. I read his recent comment on Harvard Business School case study draft. Harvard is writing a case study on us, on our journey, that how is it possible for a German entrepreneur to invest in India with a guy like Bharat? So he has written there that we lost our IP couple of times coming to China and India, and that is where we were afraid to go outside Germany, being a family-owned company. But we have to trust, once we feel that it is a trustable person, then we don't look back. We go ahead with the full trust, full authority, and that is what happened with Bharat. So that was a nice comment to read for me, because it was also very emotional moment for me. Day before yesterday night, I was awake till midnight and reading the case study of 12 pages and 10 pages exhibit. It is a 22 pages case study, and I was reflecting on myself, how it will be taught in the classroom. It is going to be rolled out in April in a Mumbai campus only. They have a Tajland End campus at Bandra. So that is where they are going to roll out this case study. And the second time it will be taught on the Boston campus. That's where we will be the eyewitness sitting in the auditorium and learning about that, how the people will question about our journey. So, thank you.
I think we can wrap it up now. Okay.
That was
lovely answers.
Thank you.
That was absolutely incredible. A story shared, so exceptional yet so relatable, and Samvad held, so candid, so pure, so real, so unfiltered. I'm sure an hour and a half very well invested. May I please call upon Dr. Abhijit Shivne to now propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening and namaskar, both together. So we had such a wonderful master class on management. I will not say only entrepreneurship. It is all about overall management, which we learned from both of them. And we are so fortunate that the way it was narrated, in such a humble way, because we organize these stories, my stories, we organize, and stories and Samvad, I listened to many of them, and even in IMDR we organize. But such a nice dialogue was going on, where we felt that it should continue. But time is the boss, so we have to stop somewhere. Right? And the subtle way, see, Mr. Gite is not an old person. He is only 42 years old. And our Nikhil is also quite young. Right? And even at this age, they have shown the maturity level of a great maturity level they have shown. And the pearls of wisdom which come from experiential learning. And I try to chalk it out them for the young people sitting here and would like to make something in their life. So the first thing which he quoted is that your interest is very important. What would you like to become? That is why sometimes some people like, Sri Ram Lahu became an actor after starting a practice. right? So the interest is at the core of our life. Sometimes we lose it because we have fear of losing, right? So that interest has to be kept in mind. And the second ability which he told, that to become a great person, risk appetite. Like now also, now he has settled up to a certain level. As he said that you have to start anything at young age. Right? It's quite right. Young age. Young age is very important. At young age, you have to do something, right, which will make your life better. And then you can take further risk. Like Mr. Gite would like to have one more plant in Supa. Right? I can relate with him because he is coming from Marathwada region. And we know, and he is also from Latur product. And what kind of competition we had there. Like, and coming from, to, and what he said, like, coming to Pune, like, even coming for job for me, it was the same experience. And at the age of 37, I came here actually. So, what I mean to say, the kind of, but the nurturing, what is important in our life is our own philosophy. And what he said is that what is the most important is that I have to do something. The entrepreneurs are the most important in any country. Like why America is great? Because of entrepreneurs. And the India will become great with your generation. I don't have any doubt because the way Amod has asked the question, I got surprised. Like good question. Right? So the way मला काहीतरी करायचं आहे देशासाठी, ही देशभक्ती जी आता दिसली आपल्याला, आणि ही देशभक्तीची प्रेरणा देशात नव्हती असं नाही आहे, पण त्याला एक स्पिरिट, नरेंद्र मोदींचं त्यांनी उदाहरण दिलं की ते ॲल्युमिनियम कास्टिंग आहे, तिने खालून हात लावला, म्हणजे सपोर्ट. यू हॅव टू नर्चर, नॉट जस्ट इन एज्युकेशन, व्हॉट लीडरशिप ही ऑल्सो, दॅट इज अ व्हेरी ग्रेट लर्निंग, दॅट लीडरशिप ऑलवेज इव्हॉल्व. See, we should not criticize others, but it evolves. Like Narendra Modi sir always say that he is the person who has become prime minister after getting freedom, and he would like to support the industry. Like that aluminum casting, he was not aware that it was heavy, it was a light thing, right? So which I like that, and even you are going to become a leader, even though you may become entrepreneur or you may become employee of a. You have to become an asset, right? So there you have to keep that, you have to support and you have to get support. And what he said, that adjusting with the people, it is a complex thing. He also addressed that HR issue, which is the most important issue for a leader, that how to deal with the people. We can deal with machine very easily, but how to deal with the people, right? He said that we have to adjust and use the person at the right place. Right? That is what he said about human beings. Like, and another important thing, somebody asked that suppose aluminum and it will get replaced, right? You should have plan A, plan B, plan C, and that is the most important lesson for youngster, that you must have a plan, that suppose if you fail, what next, right? So that is another. Then one more important thing, like sometimes what happens, you get publicity, you get money, you get everything, and then you start behaving in a different way. What he said, that we have to be live today, वर्तमान काळ हा फार महत्वाचा आहे. वर्तमानात जगलं पाहिजे. भूतकाळाची जी ग्लोरी आहे, जसं भारतात सांगितलं जातं की सोन्याचा धूर निघत होता, आता कुठं धूर दिसतोय का? तर आता आपल्याला पुढे बघावं लागेल. आणि जास्तही मोठा जास्त लांबचा विचार केला तरी नुकसान होतं. त्यामुळे छोटंसं प्लॅन करा आणि वाढवायचं. दॅट इज जपानीज, लाईक कायझेन. यू गो ऑन इम्प्रूव्हिंग डे बाय डे, राईट? सो दीज आर दी की लर्निंग. लाईक देर आर सो मेनी. लाईक वन थिंग ही सेड दॅट आय केम हिअर टू मोटिवेट, अगेन गिव्हिंग टू द नेशन, गिव्हिंग टू द पीपल ऑफ आवर सोसायटी, दॅट दे शुड लर्न. And they should, and so many people always talk about learning, right? You keep on learning. See, learning म्हणजे काय पुस्तकातच वाचायचं असं नाही. हा जो क्लास झाला त्यातूनही लर्निंग आहे. So many things are there, right, which I may continue, right? So I have to respect time, right? I, on behalf of IMDR, I would like to thank Gite sir, that he has taken out time right from a busy schedule, and he has engaged in our stories and Samvad. And I would also like to thank Nikhil for coming here and having a very meaningful dialogue with Mr. Gite, and he has explored his journey in a very nice manner. Right. One more thing, that Taural India, Mr. Nilesh Jaibai and Ms. Ashwini have coordinated well with our team, and that is how this program could have been taken place. Right. And I would like to thank IMDR staff and of course the students, because they were so enthusiastic in learning. Thank you all.